The smear campaign. A smear campaign is not random. It is not triggered by anger, revenge, jealousy, or even malice. It is structural. And to understand it, you have to understand the single idea Vaknin repeats over and over. The narcissist cannot tolerate a separate mind. You are not a separate person to them. You are an internal function, a stabilizer, a regulator. When you leave, disagree, separate, or show independence, the narcissist experiences it not as conflict, but as destabilization. Their internal world becomes exposed, and the smear campaign is the only way they restore it. That's all. When the smear campaign begins, Vaknin has stated repeatedly the moment you stop supplying the narcissist's internal equilibrium, you become a threat to their version of events, their self image, their internal consistency, their sense of superiority, their psychological balance. Once that balance is disrupted, the narcissist needs to correct the external world to match their internal one. So they rewrite you, not because they believe you are bad or dangerous or unstable, but because your autonomy contradicts the role you were assigned. For the narcissist's inner world to remain intact, your story must be overwritten. The smear is not personal, it is maintenance. Why it happens publicly. Vaknin explains that narcissists rely on the environment to stabilize themselves. This means they must recruit other people into their version of reality. It's not enough to say that they believe the rewritten script, others must believe it too. Otherwise, the internal world won't hold. So they speak first, speak loudly, speak with certainty, present themselves as wounded or righteous, frame you as the cause of disturbance. The goal is not necessarily to destroy you, it is to neutralize the threat you pose simply by existing outside their control. Why it feels so devastating. The smear campaign hits you in the very place the collapse began, the loss of your internal self trust. By the time the smear begins, you have already doubted your own memories, suppressed your own feelings, explained away repeated shocks, taken responsibility for both sides of the relationship, carried their absence inside you. So when the smear hits the outside world, it mirrors what was happening inside you for a long time. The internal and external collapse meet. This is why survivors also describe it as identity falling apart, a strange shame that isn't mine, feeling like a ghost in my own life. The smear is not just social harm, it's a psychological echo of what the relationship already did to you. Why survivors often believe parts of the smear. Vaknin's point is simple. The narcissist speaks with absolute conviction because they experience fantasy as reality. You doubt yourself, they don't doubt themselves. So the confidence in their delivery makes your already shaken internal world collapse further. MPIT describes this collapse as losing authorship of your own thoughts, losing coherence in your internal story, losing the ability to validate your own experience, losing the felt sense of being right even when you are. The smear does not confuse you because the claims are persuasive. It confuses because the narcissist feels so certain and you no longer do. Why people believe the narcissist? Because people respond to certainty, not truth. Vaknin has explained for years that narcissists broadcast a kind of narrative confidence that others naturally follow. To most people, the narcissist version looks neat, organized, emotionally consistent, delivered with conviction. Your version looks hesitant, shaken, fragmented, and overwhelmed. Not because you're wrong, but because you're traumatized. People tend to believe the person who looks most composed, especially in emotional situations. This is why smear campaigns work. The psychological reality behind it. A smear campaign happens because the narcissist must do three things: remove your autonomy in the public mind. Your separateness is intolerable. Restore their internal consistency. Your truth destabilizes them. Prevent you from contradicting their version. Your voice threatens collapse. This is not about destroying you. This is about containing you psychologically, socially, and symbolically. The external campaign mirrors the internal requirement. You must not exist as a separate entity. What survivors need to know: a smear campaign is not a statement about who you are. It is a statement about how fragile their internal world is. If your truth wasn't dangerous to them, they would not need to rewrite it. If your voice didn't matter, they wouldn't need to silence it. If your story wasn't real, they wouldn't need an army to contradict it. The smear campaign tells you far more about the narcissist's instability than about your reality. And the fact that you survived it, internally or externally, tells you everything you need to know about your own strength. See description for links to Sam Vaknin's best videos on the smear campaign. Peace out.